guys saw my last video, I ended it with getting the heat exchanger blower system and the secondary burn temporary fitted up. So I got it completely welded up and it's all locked in and solid welded now. So that's the heat exchanger tube, and that goes through the bottom, and we got it hooked to a blower, and then that's all sealed. And so the fire heats up that tube and gets that nice and hot, and then it's going to blow the hot air out the front to help spread that around. And then the secondary burn tubes are right below that. Got those sucking in air from the back here, from up top. The primary air is down here. Here's the blower. So that's that blower tube from the inside coming out the bottom. Then we got this fan on it. I think it's 250 CFM or something. It blows pretty nice. We could upgrade it, but for now it's gonna do good. Had to borrow a pallet jack just to move this thing around. So next I think I'm gonna work on the door. We got the glass for it and the gaskets and all that. So I'm gonna weld on the door, and then I think I'm gonna cut this front main plate now. You can see the line, it's gonna go right up against this and here and cap off this whole front. So we're gonna have to notch out for these blower tubes because those are gonna stick through, and then find out exactly where we're putting the door and cut out for that. So for the door here, we got this square tube cut. It's 24 inches by 16 inches. It's just 1 inch square tube, 1/8 inch wall, and then some 1/4 inch bar stock for the glass frame I have to weld in. So I got this raised up 1/4 inch. I want to get the glass a little bit closer to the inside of the stove. So this face is going to be the inside. I want it a little bit closer so that the air wash, I think, will work better with the glass closest to the inside of the door or the inside of the stove. So try to explain that more when it's on. But so I'm going to weld this up, weld that glass frame up, and then I got this little angle. I don't know what size it is, 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch or something. And the plan is to cut a notch on the middle of this whole frame and then fit this in that notch and weld it in so that my gasket can glue the gasket to this. It's like a I don't have any here. Let me show you on this other stove. It's like a fiberglass gasket that goes around the door and helps it seal nice and tight. So I'm going to try to notch all that out in the middle so that this will kind of fit in on a 45 like this. And then we can glue our round fiberglass gasket to that so it seals nice. So we'll see how that goes. So I think it's gonna work out pretty good. This is what I was trying to do here. So I cut those notches and I'm sitting this angle on at a 45, like that, all the way around. Then I'm gonna weld it, and then the round gasket should fit in there nice and seal pretty good. So I think that's gonna work. So here's the door frame welded up. It's gonna go in here somewhere centered like that. And here's that gasket I was talking about. It's just like a rope, but heat resistant, obviously. So you stretch that out and border the whole thing. And you like glue it in with like a high temp cement. I'm hoping that holds it in good. And then we got the same thing for the glass, except it's just like a flat piece of fiberglass, and that goes on this border, so the glass seals tight to that. And then we still have to figure out a way to clamp the glass in here. We'll probably weld some nuts around the outside and get a screw and compress it somehow. I'll show you guys the glass later. It was really expensive. It was like almost $300 for this 23 inches wide by I think 13 inches tall. So gotta try not to break that. So I think I'm gonna cut this outside plate next, and then figure out to center up the door exactly where we want it. Cut out the hole for the door and those blower tubes. And then we'll have to figure out a hinge for the door and a lever latch. I gotta cut a little more out. I cut these blower tubes so that I want them to stick out through that plate almost all the way. You can see that gap there before it hits still. So I'm gonna notch a little more so it closes in tight. So I got those notched a little more, now it fits in there nice. And I'm laying out for the door hole now. So when I had it tipped up there, I was able to reach my hand behind with a piece of soapstone, hold it flat to the bottom of this, and make that line right there. Because that, just at the bottom of this, is where I want the top of the door hole. So this frame I want sitting, when this plate's up, sitting right at the top of that. So that's where I'm gonna start. That's where I'm gonna start the top of my door, and I'm just gonna measure, lay it out, get center, and put it in the center of that plate. All right, we got a door opening now. Those fit nice. It's gonna be a big door. So then the frame is gonna go in like that. It's gonna be nice to be able to throw pretty much any size piece of firewood in there, big chunks. But like I said, my buddy's paying for it. Just the piece of glass for this door is $300, so it should be worth it. It's gonna be cool. So I think I'm gonna clean that up some more and tack it in, and then I gotta do the top piece. I was thinking about doing it all in one piece and then making a bend on the top, but I figured by the time I got done screwing around, scoring it with the grinder, heating it up and trying to bend it, I'd be just as time worthy to cut another chunk and weld it in. So I left these little tails kind of wild. I'm gonna have to find that angle and cut those, because then I'm just gonna weld those into that piece. I think it'd be cool to keep those in there. got those plates tacked in. They fit up pretty nice, kind of how we were expecting. I'll probably put a little more weld on them. Not completely welded up yet, I'll put a little more weld on them, and I think we're gonna start working on fitting the door, putting hinges on it, and figuring a latch. He's cleaning it up right now with the little die grinder to try to get the glass to fit in there nice. The glass has got to fit on this border surface, and we also got to figure out a way to clamp it in there, little welding nuts or something. Try to stretch it. Stretched. We gotta center it up. There, don't move. Uh-oh. I don't have the right size bolt. But that'll work.
Might have to get metric, huh?
So we don't have the right bolts. I think those sleeves are metric. There's a 3/8 bolt in it now, so there's a little slop. So you got to get the right size bolts, so it doesn't have that play in it. But we got it right where it's got to be. Then we put that piece of gasket in there when we clamped it, because there's going to be a little bit of there's got to be a little bit of room for that gasket, so it seals nice all the way around. Now we're going to work on the latch. I got this random lever, probably from a scrap dumpster somewhere, and we're going to put it somehow, make it come up like this and hook in to lock in tight. Got some play.
And this piece has to get come down a bunch. This leg, so that it can hook around, and then it gets tight in like the belly of the hook, so that when we'll have a piece coming up like this and then over, so that it can reach around the back side, and then when you pull it down, I don't know.
So it took a lot of thinking and playing around, but I think we figured out a latch mechanism. It's locking pretty good. We don't have the gasket on yet, so with the gasket, it should lock even tighter. So we just had these J hooks, J bolts. Still got to cut that off. And then we got a little catch in there, and that just cinches it up tight. Should work nice. I think we're gonna figure out how to mount the glass on there. There's supposed to be sticky stuff on here to help set it in, but it didn't come off very well. This rolls a little better. Here's the $300 piece of glass. That's gonna fit pretty nice. And then I put a bend on these washers. I think it's gonna work. I was gonna do more, but I was looking at my other stove door and some other ones I've seen. Really don't have a lot holding the glass in, so I figured this would be enough. Maybe I won't even put that in there. See how that fits. So I screwed up, broke the glass. I didn't like the way that hex head was sitting, so I tried this Allen cap screw. Put a little too much pressure on it and I cracked it. So that sucks. It's a hard lesson learned. Gotta get another $300 piece of glass now, but oh well. So it's still a work in progress, but we were too eager to get it outside and light a fire in it. Got that front plate on. The door, no glass yet. Still got to do a bunch of welding, but it's looking pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.